bed. Okay, and we've got to a very exciting part. We've got to book 11, how to portray a dragon's hero. Right. Okay. I'm going to begin on the cursed island of tomorrow. We have not yet seen tomorrow. We have not yet dared to go there. There was once a thriving city on the island of tomorrow. The flags of the Wild West flew bravely from the towers of its 100 splendid castles. It was a city built on the enslavement of men and of dragons, but like many a city before and after it, it was a handsome and glorious city nonetheless. But a century ago, Grimbert the Ghastly, the last king of the Wild West, did a truly dreadful thing. Grimbeard's son, Hiccup Haddock II, with his dragon, the Dragon Furious, was leading a peaceful dragon petition to plead with his father to end the misery of slavery. Grimbeard mistook the petition for rebellion. He killed his very own son by his very own sword, the Stormblade, and the blood of his son was spilt on the seat of his very own throne. That was the beginning of the curse upon the throne and the island of tomorrow. The city was destroyed by the Dragon Furious forces that had come at first in peaceful protest. The 100 splendid castles were burnt to the ground, and the Dragon Furious was captured and bound in inescapable chain in the depths of a foreign forest prison. Grimbert the Ghastly repented of his terrible crime. He swore that there would never be a king of the Wild West again unless that king could be a better man than he was. So Grimbert created an impossible task. He scattered 10 of the king's things to all of the 4 corners of the distant earth. Those things would be guarded by monsters and dragons most terrible. Only a true hero could gather the things together and lift the curse and become the next king of the Wild West. In the unlikely event that there would ever be a hero great enough to gather together those 10 lost things, the hero would then be crowned, but only on the 12th day of Doomsday, known as the Doomsday of Yule, which comes but once a year, and only on the island of tomorrow, on the stumps of the throne, where Grimbeard's son had died. In the meantime, Grimbeard appointed human and dragon warriors to be guardians on the ruined island fortress of tomorrow, so fearsome and so terrible that they can barely be imagined, or will kill on sight anyone illegally entering their territory. Now the archipelago needs a king more than ever before, for the Dragon Furious has escaped from that forest prison where Grimbert the Ghastly once enslaved him, and the dragon is carrying out his own curse on the humans that he now hates. His intention is to extinguish the entire human race. And the Dragon Furious is winning. He has torched the whole north of the archipelago. The humans have been forced to live in hiding places underground for fear of the dragon. Nothing can stop the Dragon Furious now. Nothing, except for a new king. For a new king will be told the secret of the 10th lost thing, the dragon jewel, a jewel that has the power to destroy dragons forever. There is only one time in the year that a possible king is allowed to enter the territory of tomorrow. It's one of the 12 mornings of the 12 days of Doomsday. Oh wow, today it is midwinter and the morning of the 9th day of Doomsday Day. Here he is now. The extraordinarily tall figure of a lone ferryman rowing across the dreadful island of tomorrow, across the little causeway of Heroes Gap to the mainland of the murderous mountains. The ferryman is the druid guardian of the island of tomorrow. He is blindfolded and can't take off this blindfold until a new king of the Wild West is crowned. The blindfold signifies his role as an impartial and an implacable judge and his absolute commitment to his role as a druid guardian. But by some supernatural agency, he seems able to sense that there is a figure with a little band of followers waiting for him on the beach. The figure is the Ugly Tug. His hope rises at last in the nick of time. A hero come to claim the kingdom. For the druid guardian fears that the Dragon Furious is very close to extinguishing the human race. The druid guardian brings the boat to a sludgy halt on the singing sands of the beach of the ferryman's gift, and spreads wide his arms and makes the declaration as his father and his father's father and his father's father's father have done every year before him. He or she who would be king, approach tomorrow if you dare. Only the one with the king's lost things can be crowned the king and live. And then he turns to Ugly Third and asks these solemn words. Are you he who would be king? Ugg replies, I am. Are you the chosen representative of all the tribes of the archipelago? Asked the druid guardian. Ugh nods. Have you brought a gift for the ferryman? Asked the druid guardian. I have, replies Ugly Thug. The druid guardian says solemnly, but with eager hope, then show me the things. Ugly Thug snaps his fingers to his followers, and one by one they bring forward the things. They are a fang-free dragon, Grimbe's second-best sword, the Roman shield, an arrow from the land that does not exist, the heartstone, the ticking thing, the key to the throne, the throne, the crown, the dragon jewel. Ugly Thug's followers lay them out on the beach before the druid guardian and retreat. The druid guardian steps forward to examine the things. A long time he spends picking up each thing with his long, clever fingers, taking care to feel each individual object from all angles to check whether that is right, and then he steps backwards. A grim note enters his voice as he declares, "These things are fakes. The replica of the toothless dragon is particularly poor, and it isn't kind of you to do such a thing to a defenceless creature. We will give it a home on tomorrow." Ugly Thug has removed the teeth from a poor little trotter dragon in order to pretend it is the real toothless dragon from the prophecy. Ugly Thug turns as white as a sheep's fleece. As for you, Ugly Thug, continues the druid guardian, know this, he who dares to approach tomorrow with a gift that is unacceptable dies a quicker and horrible death along with his followers. Arise, you guardian protectors of tomorrow, arise and do your worst. All around. Oh, sorry, I haven't been showing you the pictures, actually, sorry. I got into the story. Yes, that is the guardian of tomorrow. There he is. All around Ugly Thug and their followers on the beach, the sand begins to bubble, and the land gives birth to creatures of unimaginable horror, huge and terrible, screaming vengeance. There is no time for reaction, no time for defence. Ugly Thug and his followers have no time to see even what they are, whether they are dragons or something worse. These creatures take hold of Ugly Thug. They take hold of the followers, screaming and struggling. They shoot upwards and ever upwards, up into the sky, up and up and up, into the clouds beyond, into the choking freezing of ice and fire of the upper atmosphere. And those people are then no more. They will return to the earth only as ash and purple rain. Such is the vengeance of the guardians of tomorrow on those who try to approach their shore without the correct things. So there you have. Those are the guardians of tomorrow. There is, that's the ferryman. And then that's everybody having been destroyed. The druid guard. Oh, apart from the little toothless trotter dragon, who I'm glad is just fine. Yeah, he's just fine. The druid guardian sighed. He gently caresses the head of the poor toothless trotter dragon, reassuring it softly that all will be well. He mutters to himself, 2 more days, only 2 more days for a hero to arrive and save us all. Wearily, he clambers back into his little boat. He is not really expecting that right hero to come, you see. Why would he? This is a ritual that has taken place every year for 99 years, and only the unworthy have come. Wearily, the old man begins to row back to tomorrow. Oh, he will call for a hero to come and claim the crown for 2 more days. If a hero does not arrive on the 11th day, on Doomsday Eve, then it will be too late. Grimbeel's rules set down a century ago are inviolate. The borders of tomorrow will close again until the following year. And next year really will be too late. By then, the Dragon Furious will have grown too strong. This year is their only chance. A hero must come to claim the throne with all of the lost things by the 11th day of Doomsday, or all is lost. Wow, that's quite a beginning. I'm just going to read you the prologue now. Prologue by Hiccup, the last of the great Viking hero. These last 2 books of my memoirs took place over only 48. They take place over only 48 hours during the last 2 days of Doomsday when I was 14 years old, and I warn you that they are the darkest and most terrifying, and they were the most difficult to write. But this was the time in which I faced both Grimbeers the Ghastly's guardian protectors of tomorrow and the true might and anger of the Dragon Furious. This was the time in which the dragons faced extinction. So we're getting to the pointy bit of the story. At the beginning of this book, and when I say pointy bit, I mean the point, but also the pointy bit, the sharp end of the story. where it gets really difficult. At the beginning of this book, war has come to the Hiccup. The dragons and the humans are trying to obliterate each other, and I am being hunted down by both the terrible dragons of the Dragon Rebellion and by the witch and Alvin the Treacherous. I look back at that pale, skinny, 14-year-old boy who once was me, and I feel such anxiety for him. He does not yet know what is coming to him. He is living through this dreadful war, so he has seen death already, but he has not yet lost someone that he loves. He is beginning to understand what it means to bear the burden of the guilt and the responsibility of being a leader, but he has not yet accepted that burden as his fate and his destiny. Will he be able to save the dragons in the end? I yearn to help him. I want to reach out across the chasm of space and war and time and hold his hand to help him through it. But of course he is living in the past, that distant country, and however hard I shout, he will not hear me. Now I am an old man. Looking back on my life, I can see the pattern and the reason for the darkness of that time. Great things are only made out of love and out of pain. A great sword must be made out of the very best steel. But what truly makes the sword great is what happens to the sword after it is made. We call this the testing of the sword. The sword is bashed and hammered and hollowed into shape by the bright hammer. It is thrust into the fierce heat of the fire where it softens, and then it is quickly quenched in water where it hardens again. The higher the temperature, the fiercer the fire, the tougher and the greater the sword eventually becomes. This whole testing process can make a sword or break it, and the same could be said for the making of a hero. And the first chapter will go to Hiccup. It's called Help. Your mother said not to leave the hideout. That's where we begin, with Hiccup hiding out in the fortress of the Murderous Mountain. But we'll have to have that first chapter tomorrow. It's lovely to be reading the book again.